It's Pete Cohen. Good evening. Welcome to the Goal Setting Masterclass. I'm delighted to be here and share with you this evening this incredible knowledge to help you make this year the best year you've ever had in your entire life. This is something we've been doing for a long time, working with great people just like you. One of the things that's really interesting about human beings is we all want to change. You know, if I could literally just wave a magic wand and give you what you want in your life, the improvements in your life that you want to make, if I could wave the wand, I'm sure you just want it. Say, Pete, make me healthy. Pete, make me lose weight. Pete, make me more confident. Pete, give me more mental strength. Pete, make me have my dream job. If I could wave the wand, I'm sure you would all want that. Now, that's not actually possible, and I believe that the best way to get that is definitely coaching, because the role of a coach is to take you from where you are to a better place. And that is something I've been doing for a long, long time, and I am getting better at that. I'm getting older, I'm getting wiser, I think I'm getting stronger and healthier, and I'm inspired to take you through this process, whether you're someone who's completely new to me, whether you're watching me for the first time, or whether you're someone who's been following me for a long time. It really doesn't matter. This is something that you can go through any time of the year to help you get clarity. We all need clarity on where we are going, because we all want to grow, but it's because we don't know where we're going. We don't really ever make any positive changes in the areas of our life that we most want to make changes. And that's what I want to take you through. So this is a process. I'm going to ask you lots of questions. The outcome that I would like to help all of you with is that after we've gone through this process, that you've got some clarity around your goals that are fulfilling to you, and you know what you need to start doing. So come the 12th of January, that's if you're watching this now, that you don't do what most people do, which is give up. Give up on their hopes, give up on their dreams, give up on their ambitions, because when we do that, it leaves a massive hole in our life. And that is why I believe so many people are struggling around the world. For me, my word for this year, my theme is inspiration. Inspirators. I'm looking for people just like you who want to breathe life into where they are and where they're going. Is that you? Show me some hearts right now. If that is you, you are excited. In fact, let's start off with this. The first question is, give me one word right now to describe how you are feeling. One word to describe how you're feeling right now. Thank you, all of you that are here. I really appreciate it. Let's go through this process, and do me a favor. After you've done it, share it. Share this in some way. Go and tell 10 people. Post it on Facebook, whatever. Make a video about whatever you need to do to tell people this is what you're going to do. You're going on a journey. We're going on a journey together. So feel free just to share who you are. So a lot of you feel ready. So let's get started. I'm asking you to, how do you feel right now? Notice how you feel now, and let's notice how you feel right at the end. So if I said to you, what do you want to achieve in the next 365 days? Let's do like just a dump it out. What do you want to achieve in 365 days? This is one of the things I absolutely love to draw. I draw it a lot at the moment, which is this is you today, and we're going on a journey together. You and I, we're going on a journey together for 365 days. Where would you like to be? What would you like to achieve in 365 days, right? So do you want to be happier? Do you want to be healthier? Do you want to be more confident? Do you want to be earning more money? What is it that you want in 365 days? Do you want to start your own business? Do you want to sack your boss? Do you want to be stronger? Literally, just write it down. You don't need to post it here. You can if you want to, but I'm asking you to, write it down and think, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. It's like, you remember, I think, Supermarket Sweep with Dale Winton. You could literally go in and you had a certain amount of time and you could get anything. Write down what you want, whatever comes to mind. I don't know, to run a marathon, to go on holiday. You know, for me already, one of the things I wrote down is I want to go to India this year, and I've had a speaking job come in today for me to go to India in June. We should be really careful what we wish for, because as you write this stuff down, I'll just talk a little bit more, which is this. Look, you're watching this through a camera. This camera is taking me through there. Somewhere up there, it's going to you. Someone once had this idea. And when someone had that idea, people probably laughed at them. We have this equipment. It's the creative part of our brain. You know, my coach, Patty Dobrovolsky, you know, she is all about using the creativity that you all have to dream, to dare to dream. And that's what we're doing. We're thinking, where would I like to be in 365 days? Because it starts off with a dream. Now, of course, when we start dreaming, we could start criticizing it. Other people could criticize our dream. But we can do that later if you want. So if you've written down, I can see lots of people have written stuff down here about they want to be happy, they want to be healthier, they want to be rich, they want to be more fulfilled, they want to grow, they want to be more confident, they want to leave parts of themselves behind. You know, a lot of us, we repeat habits, we repeat behaviors in life. And maybe this is the year you're thinking, you know what, I want to go down a different doorway. You know, I want this year to be the year where I go into a different world where I am my better self. So that's really good. Thank you for sharing that. And then the next question, it kind of relates to that when you look at what you've written down, and it's this: what is wildly important to you this year? What is wildly important to you? What is really important? More important than anything else? You know, what comes to mind? Is it your finances? This is the year you really want to get your finances in order. This is the year where you really want to get a promotion. This is the year you really want to get stronger, healthier. What is wildly important to you? Thank you so much for all these comments. It's absolutely fantastic to really know that this is what I want this year. And so I'm going to show you how to go after that and make that happen. Now, this is a question that, you know, sometimes it's a tricky question to ask, but when you look at what you want, if I were placing a bet on you to achieve that, right? And I'd have to look at your form, like with a horse that races, we look at its form. How has the horse raced in the past? And we've all raced before, right? All of us at some point in our life have decided to set a goal and go after it. And, you know, what's your form like? I want you to think about this, to write down. Maybe you say, I'm a 50 to 1, or I'm a complete outsider. I'm 100 to 1, or I'm 1,000 to 1, or I'm even money, or I'm 5 to 1, or I'm odds on. You know, I'm going to do this. I am going. Don't put money on me because you're going to lose. Pete, don't put any money on me achieving it because I'm just going to achieve this. You're not going to win anything because I'm just the absolute favorite. It doesn't matter what that is. Just write it down. So does this make sense? It's really important. Let's move on. So the next question is, what are you inspired about? For 2019, what are you inspired about? When we use that word inspired, it's what are you excited about? What are you kind of looking forwards to? What is it that you're thinking, yeah, this is the year that, what is it that you're excited about? Are you excited about your children? Are you excited about a holiday that you're going to go on? Are you excited about the people you're going to be working with? What is it that, you're excited about what you could achieve? Are you excited about, what is it? What is it? Again, just write it down and we'll get some more clarity on this. So that's the second page, and we've gone through the questions on there, which is really good. We're cooking on gas. The third page is just your ability to, you know, write down all of your goals. So what we need to do is we need to consider the goals that you have set and the commitments you've made in the last 365 days. I think sometimes before we move forwards, before we go forwards, I think it is important to look back, because if we don't look back, what happens is history repeats itself. And I'm all about thinking. Those of you that know me, I'm all about thinking in terms of the way you think. My background was originally in fitness. You know, I was a personal trainer for years. Then I studied psychology and became very interested in how are we thinking? What are we thinking? And realized my thinking was actually quite stinking. And I didn't realize that my whole life was affected by what I was thinking about. And this is what we need to look at. I mean, it's not just that, but it's very important. So maybe this is the year where you really want to think more positive and be more optimistic. And so when we look back at last year, let's just do this quickly, but it is important. What did you fail at last year? You know, what did you start but not finish? So how many things did you think, you know, I started painting that wall, and then I started cleaning out that room, I started that book, I started that course. What was it that you started that when you look back, and just be honest, you know, this is an honesty circle, right? Because what we need to do is address this, put it to bed, because when we've put it to bed, I believe we can be more confident about where we are and start to attach, because this is what we're going to do tonight. We are going to attach loads of positive emotion to where you're going. And that's where goal setting, people write a goal down, but there's no emotion because they don't believe it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get excited, right? So when we look back, what did you say, but you didn't do? So last year, what did you say? And maybe you said, you know what, I'm going to get fit. You went to the gym, but you didn't do it. You went once, you went twice. And look, you can give yourself a hard time about all of this, but none of that's going to help. It's just facts. That's all. It's just auditing. It's like, okay, I'm just looking back here. You know, I said I was going to do this, and I didn't do that. What promises did you not keep? We often make promises to ourselves, right? We sometimes make promises. Those of you that have ever made promises to children, they always remember, right? Because what we want to think about is the promises that you want to make. What did you start that you didn't finish? Was it a book? Was it a course? Was it a learning? What didn't work? Last year, just what didn't work? Again, it's really important to remain objective. When we coach people, it's about your ability to step back and look at this and be curious about it. That's why you might want to go through this process, you know, a couple of times, because it's a very powerful process to go through. So what could you learn? What could you learn from last year as you look back? When you reflect on what you need to do differently in the next 365 days, so you're able to succeed with the goals that you set today. So what could you learn as you look back from last year? Maybe you put too much on your plate. Maybe you didn't get support. Maybe you gave up when it got difficult. Let me tell you something. I've worked with many athletes, as many of you know, world champions, Olympic champions, and teams. And one of the things that people don't realize is that they have bad days as well. It's just what they do with those bad days. They often use the bad day to think, okay, I really need to kind of dig in here. I really need to pull myself together, and the next day to really pull it around. So maybe as you look back, you realize, you know what, when things got difficult, I kind of gave up. When I hit a plateau, when I realized I wasn't making any progress, I gave up. This is all really, really important. And look, your life is important. And we really have to look at this in a way that allows us to be empowered by what we did. What else did you what do you need to do differently in the next 365 days? Maybe you need to break it down in what you're doing just to make it so easy. Because look, this is a battlefield, right? It's a journey. This is a hero's journey. You're the hero, right? You know, tomorrow I'm going to probably go and see either Creed 2 or I'm going to go and see the Laurel and Hardy film. I absolutely love Laurel and Hardy, and I love Steve Coogan, who's playing Stan Laurel. But, you know, you look at anyone's journey, it wasn't a straight line. You know, they're going to hit obstacles. You know, things are going to happen. And, you know, so what is it that you need to do differently? I think, I know what, I need to make it much easier on myself. I need to get some support. I need to maybe ask for some help. I need to, when it gets difficult, I need to, you know, to show up. Does this make sense? So what I want you to do is to end up with 2 or 3 things that you could tell someone and say, you know what, especially those of you that I coach, my 365ers, this is what I want to know. I want to know, you know, what do you need to do differently in 2019? Okay, so cool, let's move on. So what we need to look at now is what was awesome about last year. What was awesome? What was great about last year. Again, I would encourage you to write this down. For me personally, going to South Africa was just a dream come true, to go and work out there. And we've got a big team of people that we're working with. It was amazing. Dreams came true for me, for other people. What also was great case studies, people that we've helped. The results with, interviewing many of our members of the month, going on holiday with my wife, moving house to this dream house that we're in now. In fact, getting that exercise bike over there, which is the best present I've ever had. All the podcasts we did, just filming a better relationship with a few people, a better relationship with my mum. Obviously my father passed away last year, which was extremely difficult, but I'm living in his memory, and I remember him now with such fond memories, to take what he shared with me and be a great person, be a kind person. We're going to look at that in a bit more detail in terms of virtues. I'm a better coach than I've ever been. I'm a better speaker. I've had better feedback. Now that's me talking about me. What was great for you? What was great? And this is so interesting because a lot of people struggle with this. They struggle to think about what was good, and that's because of where their mind is. Our mind is like a heat-seeking missile. If you give it somewhere to go, if you give it worry and doubt and fear and anxiety, it will go there for you and think that's what you're supposed to do. And maybe that's something else that you want to leave behind in the last year, or something you want to write down and goes, I want a stronger mind. I want to be emotionally strong. I don't want to let my emotions get the better of me. So what was great about last year? What did you achieve? Well, we wrote a book last year, which is coming out in a few weeks, in a few months. Inspirators, about inspired people just like you. What did you achieve last year? What was great about last year? Just write it down. Write it down, doing more broadcasts, better results with people. What are you most proud of? Guys, as you look back over last year, what are you most proud of? I'm most proud of many things. I'm most proud of you for being here right now. I'm most proud of the people that I work with. I'm most proud of my own self and my ability to get up every morning and go to work on getting better so I can give a better self to you. What about you? You think, well, I'm not really proud of many things. Well, maybe that's something else that needs to change. I'm really proud of the way I handled last year, the way I was there for my mum. I'm really proud of the way of the person I am becoming. What about you? Maybe you're proud of the fact that the way you've handled yourself at work, the way you dealt with a difficult situation, and maybe proud of the fact that the way you've been with your kids, or you've seen your kids, or whatever you've done. It's important to look at it with confidence and stand up and say, yes, this is me, this is my life. So does this make sense? Is everyone with me here? Because before we start looking at goals, this is the sort of stuff that we need to kind of address. Can you not see this? This is why this is such a fundamental goal-setting process, because we want to set our goals and make sure we achieve them. In order to achieve something, we need to just look back. So when we look back just a little bit more, I want you to think about this. What were the most common thoughts that you had in last year? What were the most common thoughts? Was it, stress, worry, happiness, joy, excitement? When I look back, there was a whole array of emotions. I mean, literally like this. But I handled it. Actually, something else I'm quite proud of is how I handled last year. That even throughout the whole of last year, I didn't get sick once. No cough, no cold. That I stayed strong. But I definitely, there was too much fear last year. Obviously, I was frightened of a few things, and I do live with fear. But I want to show you, wouldn't it be great? I think a lot of us are frightened to set goals. This is, many of you know the last week I've been on the phone doing a lot of calls, strategy calls with people that want to work with me, which you can all get on a call with me for free and we can talk and see where you are and see where you want to go. And it's been so interesting talking to so many people and realizing that so many people are in a similar place. In a place of feeling not quite fulfilled, feeling not quite right, feeling that they're their own worst enemy. The amount of people who when I've said, what's the biggest obstacle? You know what most people say? Me. Well, not me, I'm not the obstacle. They are the obstacle in their own head, and that's what we are. So when you look back, what were the most common thoughts last year? Was it, stress, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, looking for approval? Everyone does this. Everyone does it. Everyone has thoughts. And you'll never get rid of those negative thoughts, but maybe this year you want to be the person that has more control over that, more awareness, more tools at your disposal that allows you to deal with the relationship you have with yourself. And I think this is what most of us want. We want a better relationship with ourselves, because then we can share that relationship with everyone else around us. If you're on good form and you're relating to yourself well, it affects everything around you. And maybe that's something else that you want to achieve next year. Which thoughts were the most dominating? Again, don't look at this as right and wrong, and please don't look at it like, oh, poor me, why me? Look, it's because you've probably just been a bit of a victim. And maybe that's another goal that you want for yourself. You want to be less of a victim and more of a hero. Most of us have this. We live in a world that wants you to feel like a victim, wants you to feel not quite right, not quite good enough. Because if you feel like that, guess what you're going to do? You're going to probably go and buy things that you don't need, or eat food that you don't need to eat. Because no one likes to feel like that. Everyone wants to be a hero. Everyone does. That's why we go and watch films, because we want to watch the hero's journey. This is a hero's journey. Does this make sense? And the word hero actually comes from the Greek word, which means the protector. So right now I'm a hero, right? Because I'm here to protect you, to help protect you around what you want, where you want to go. And this is the interesting thing that most people want to achieve in these three areas here that we'll look at: your health, your relationships, which, your family, your friends, and your work. We want to make improvement in these three areas so other people can benefit from who we have become. Does that make sense? That's what a hero is. So what thoughts last year served you? I know you probably spent some time being negative, but last year, what thoughts served you well? Did you have thoughts like, you know what, you got this. You can do this. Come on, let's go. Let's get out of bed. Let's exercise. I don't feel like it, but I'm still going to do it. That exists in you. You know it exists in you. What thoughts served you best? I got this. I got you. I'm here for you. And this is really important. What thoughts do you want to manifest next year? This year, sorry, and the year after. In 2019, what thoughts do you want to manifest, to bring to life? Because if you want to bring that, manifest those thoughts, guess what it's going to take? You know what it's going to take. It's going to take practice. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take some work, right? And we know that we live in a world now where everyone wants everything brought to them. Amazon will bring everything to you. Deliveroo will bring everything to you. Uber will take you wherever you want to go. But that's not where fulfillment comes. The greatest fulfillment is in what we do, the fruits of our labor. And maybe that's another goal for you guys this year: more fulfillment, more inner satisfaction, more inner joy, more inner achievement. Are you hearing me? Is everyone hearing me about this? So are you excited? Does this make sense? Let's just review that question. Which thoughts do you want to manifest in this coming year? What years what do you want to manifest? What thoughts? I'm doing this. I've got this. I'm going to achieve. I'm going to be the best that I can be. And to tell yourself that right now, tell yourself that if you're not standing up and you can stand up and tell you, this is my year. I've got this. I'm in control. Because what I want you to think about now is the theme. So we know the theme of Creed 2, which is the next Rocky film. The theme is overcoming adversity. What do you want the theme of this year to be for you? So the theme for me is inspiration. That's the theme of my entire year. I want to be as inspired as I ever have been. To inspire you, to inspire all the people I love. That's the theme of my year. What is the theme of your year? Give it a theme. Really important. Does this make sense? And share that. What's the theme? Achievement, satisfaction, building. What is your theme for this year? Because please remember this, right? This is your year. Have you ever had the feeling like you're on top of the world? You have. And guess what? You're always on top of the earth, always on top of the world. Wherever you are in the world, you're always on top of it. Even if you're underground, you're still on top of the world in some way, shape, or form. Feeling like you are on top of the world is your choice. So I think now would be a really good time to get specific. I can see lots of comments here, and please forgive me because you know, I will look at those and I will take questions. So what's the theme, okay? The theme, what's the theme? Tell people, share people, you know, get excited. This is my theme. But remember, if that's your theme, guess what's going to come? If you're going to set some goals, you're going to be challenged. It's almost like the universe, I don't know what it does, but it's like, does something when you say, I want something. It's like, well, you're going to be tested. How much do you want it? And the test is where we get stronger. So perhaps this year, when obstacles come, you want it to be the year where, give me the obstacle. Give me the, especially when I don't feel like doing something, I want that feeling because I want to show myself what I can do. What's the theme and what's the mantra? The mantra, right? The mantra, by the way, this comes from an Indian Sanskrit word, and the word mantra means tool of the mind. So I said last week when I did this that there was a boxer called Marvin Hagler, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and his theme, his mantra was mean getting meaner, mean getting meaner, mean getting meaner, mean getting meaner. What's yours? Strong getting stronger, inspired getting more inspired. What is your mantra? What is it you could say to yourself? I've got this, you're in control. What is it if you kept saying it to yourself? Keep it cool, keep it calm. What is it that you could say that would make a difference? Really important. And we're going to bring that to life in a moment. So does this make sense? What I want you to think about now is how, I want you to think about this really big question. Big question. Are you ready for another big question? Is everyone with me? Is everyone excited? What I want you to think about is what you want to achieve, which we'll get more clarity around in a minute. How will other people benefit from you achieving your goals? If you set you some goals, you know, you're healthier, you've got better relationships, your work is better, you've got a promotion, whatever it is, think about how other people will benefit. So if you became a better husband or wife or friend, how would that person around you, if you gave more time to the people you love, how would they benefit from it? Those of you that have children, you know, they don't relate to the amount of time you spend with them, they relate to the time. You know, they want your attention, especially if they're very young. How will they benefit? How will your colleagues benefit? How will your team benefit? If you're healthier and you're stronger and you've got more energy, how will the people around you benefit from that? Again, write this stuff down. Really, really, really important. I want to make a better life for my wife. I want to make a better life for the people around me. I want to make it easier for them. I want to create a space for them where they can have more joy and more fun. But I realize there's a price to pay for that. You know, that's the price I'm paying. But there's a price to pay for anything. If you want a six-pack, I've actually got a six-pack, right? And I didn't actually want one. You know, I'm not bothered. But you know how that's come about? I had some surgery and it just, you know, they took the fat away. No, that didn't happen. I exercise, especially when I don't feel like it. I daily detox, right? I exercise in here and often it's freezing, but I don't care. I don't care that I don't feel like it. I want this year to be the year that I love doing things, especially when I don't feel like it. What do you reckon? Who's fired up? Who's excited? How are people going to benefit from you being a better version of yourself? And when you look ahead, when you look ahead for the next 365 days, this is what I want you to think about. So we're all excited. Yeah, woo! Okay, stop. What would happen if you did, let's think about this. Look, two doors. This is one door, okay? This is the door that you're excited, but you think tomorrow or the 12th of January, which is the date everyone kind of, you go through here and you go back to what you were doing before. You know, you go back down here, you do nothing. You do absolutely nothing. You go back to the habits that you beat yourself up. You don't think you're good enough. You repeat behaviors. You repeat cycles, you go back to some defaults, all your inspiration, you were a hero today for a few days, but your inspiration went outside the back door, and you move forwards. How would you feel in 1 year's time? Now, why might I want you to think about this? I think it's really important. Think about the consequences of not acting, just like Ebenezer Scrooge, when Scrooge sees how his future could be. I can tell you what I think hell is. Hell is coming to the end of your life and meeting the person that you could have been. And that person that you could have been looks at you and goes, you could have been me. You're going to die soon, but I'm not. Because I got better physically, mentally, emotionally. You see, Pete, I don't want to think about that. We all know what the biggest disease of our time is, right? It's just comfortable. And I believe that a lot of you just are not uncomfortable enough that's going to drive you forwards. And it's just because we want everything just brought to, we want everything made easy. I mean, people say now, oh, you can't make anything. I mean, look, even 5 people just dropped off now. Maybe they haven't got the time to watch this. Maybe they've got to put the kids to bed. Maybe they think, oh, you know what, I've just heard too much of this. But it doesn't matter. You're here. You're here. And you want to make improvements in your life. And that's the most important thing. So take a moment and think, I don't want that. I don't want to arrive in 1 year's time and think, you know what, this is stuck another year. Another year's gone by and I haven't done anything. Now that could happen. If you can see it, you could achieve it. But just imagine that today you thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. And you started a process and you started making some positive changes and you went through a different door. You went this way and you started doing things every single day. You broke down your goal into sizable, manageable things that you could do every single day. You wrote down your theme every day. You wrote down your mantra. You told your mantra to yourself, we're doing this. And imagine just what that would feel like for you. Imagine just a few weeks of making some positive changes, listening, being more confident, whatever it is that you're doing. Seeing a return on your investment. Just imagine 1 year from now arriving and seeing yourself and thinking, look what I did. Look what I achieved. I'm amazing. I'm awesome. So what we're going to do now is do something that I've not really done before, especially in the way that I'm about to do it. There is a very powerful process. It's called WHOOP. It was designed by a lady called Gabrielle Oettingen, who specializes in visualizing and seeing the effects that visualization can have. And some of you maybe have a vision board and you think about the things that you want, but when you think about the things that you want, you start to daydream and then you come back to today. And then when you hit an obstacle, most of us give up. So WHOOP is, what's the wish? What do you wish for this year? What do you wish for with your health? What do you wish for with your relationships? What do you wish for with your work? What's the outcome? What's the specific outcome that you're looking for? What's the specific wish? The outcome is the feeling, which we'll look at in a minute, but we need to look at the obstacles. This is what we need to look at. What do you think of the obstacles that will prevent you from achieving what you want? And then what's the plan? What's the plan to overcome the obstacles? Even with the great coaching program that we provide for people, because people can always tap in, they can always show up, because that's the challenge for us, right? When we're working towards something, when something gets difficult, most of us disappear. But even with what I provide for people, sometimes people still disappear when the going gets tough. Maybe that's part of your theme this year, that you want to show up when things are difficult. So let's get specific about these 3 areas, okay? I'm just going to wipe the board, take a breath, maybe jump up and down, get some air. Take a few deep breaths. Okay. How is everyone? Give me a word to describe how you're feeling right now. Thank you so much for being here, all of you guys. We're about halfway through this process. And, I know this is free. I just hope that you value it as a gift that is being given to you, because I know how successful I am in the work that I do, because I'm always looking to get better. And everything I'm doing here with you is something that I have done myself. You know, I do this every day. I try and be an example as best as I can. So we need to look at these three different areas, okay? So the first area that I want to look at is if we come over here. So we've got this triangle. So the first is your health, your energy, your vitality, your strength. Does your health matter? Of course it matters, right? Your health, if you've ever lost your health, if you've ever been ill, if you've had a cough or a cold, or God forbid something even more challenging, you know, a disease, or you've seen someone, you know, what had a massive impact on me was seeing my father deteriorate in hospital, but seeing everything else that went on in hospitals. People that have given up on their health, people that would be outside holding, you know, a drip, smoking a cigarette. You know, the food that people were eating in hospitals, it really woke me up even more. I thought, you know what, I want to be radiantly healthy. So when we look at you today, let's look at your health first of all right? Would that be okay? This is a process that I've learned from one of the people that I follow. So this is your health. And I want you to think about why your health is important. I just want you to take a moment to think about that. And the next thing I want you to think about is, you know, Michelangelo. Michelangelo is a brilliant, what would you call him in what he did? He was a genius, right? But one of the things he did is he, you know, carved some amazing things out of marble. I mean, I can't imagine how challenging it must have been to have carved David, the statue of David, out of this marble. But he obviously saw inside the big bit of marble, he saw David, this strong thing that he was going to chisel out. So I want you to think about this. You at your absolute best, okay? You radiantly healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, you know, you at your best. I want you to think about what that would look like. How you would stand, how you would feel, what would be different, really what would be different about it, and to identify with that. For me, what I identify with here, I identify with the fittest 50-year-old in the world. That's what I want to be, the fittest 50-year-old in the world. I want to be the fittest 60-year-old, then the fittest 70-year-old, then the 80th, then the fittest 100-year-old. Then I want to be here till 101. I don't know how many of you would like to do the same thing as well. And I aspire to be like that. Does this make sense? This is me at my absolute best. Now, of course, we know, just like Michelangelo, this is why coaching is so powerful, because we have to chip away at this. This is something we've got to chip away at. And this is what most of us need to do as we go on a journey, is start chipping away at the bits of us that are holding us back. Does this make sense? I want you to think about yourself, you at your radiant best, you with loads of energy and vitality, healthy, strong, mobile, you know, whatever it is. I want you to think about that and what that would be like. And start to think about how you could live like that today. I've just got my notes here. I just want to make sure, because there was a couple of things I wrote down here. What would the best version of you look like? What would it look like? Can you see that? Can you use your imagination? Because of course, look, this is the absolute best. And this is you in 365 days. Okay? So our goal is to help you go from, you know, to think about you at your absolute radiant best, right? And then to break this down and think, okay, because this is what we need, right? We need, because we are what the Greeks called teleological, right? We need goals, right? So what could be some health goals for you in 365 days? This is you, your absolute radiant best. This is what you're going to practice doing. You're going to practice doing this. What's going to make it so easy or easier is to have some targets, to have some goals. So in 365 days, maybe you want to be so much more flexible because you've done some yoga, Maybe you're stronger. Maybe you've run a marathon. Maybe you've meditated every day. Maybe you set yourself a goal. I'm going to meditate every single day. Whatever it is that would allow you to walk towards this or run towards you in 365 days. Does this make sense? Now, is everyone with me? Are you? I think you are. So one of the key things is living with virtues. Again, this is something I've been, I'm really interested. Virtues are, what are your values? What is it that it would be absolutely essential for you to achieve this? So for me, my virtues are being disciplined, right? It's a word a lot of people don't like. It's being full of energy. It's being enthusiastic. Grounded. So I know that these are like my virtues. I have to live with these. I have to practice these every single day to make this happen. Does this make sense? These are the virtues. These are virtues in action. How alive can you become? And I want you to think about one or two goals that you could set around this. One or two big goals that if you one or two goals around your health for the next 365 days. Please write that down. If you don't know now, take some time to think about it, because this is something you'll be able to share with people, right? Does this make sense? And of course, with those goals, you need to whoop. You need to whoop the goals. So, the goal is, what do you wish for? What do you wish for? Maybe you wish that in 365 days, like I said, you've done something. You've achieved something with your health and your well-being. You wish that you're stronger than you've ever been, mentally stronger, whatever it is. What's the outcome? The outcome is a feeling. What is the feeling that you want, right? And then what's the obstacle? Take some time to think about the obstacle. The obstacles which could come along the way. And then what's the plan? The plan to overcome the obstacle. This is where your great success will come in. And what I ask you to do is to think about your plan to overcome the obstacles that are coming. I can't answer that question for you. My plan to overcome the obstacles is to go back to my routine. I have a routine every single day. And I want to explain something to you, and then we'll move on. I want you to have one or two goals for your health. You're going to practice being this person. In order to practice being this person, you have to be disciplined. You have to be energetic. You have to be enthusiastic, and practice these things. And know that if you're practicing them, that you're going to move yourself confidently. And this is the other thing. With these goals, I want you to have a floor, right? And a ceiling. A floor and a ceiling, right? What does that mean? So set yourself up for success. A floor might be, I'm going to do, if I do it for 2 minutes, whatever it is, I'm succeeding. If I do it for 10 minutes, I'm succeeding. Set yourself up for success. Does this make sense? Shall we move on? Shall we move on to your relationships? Yes? Again, you can go through this process a few times. I know this might seem crazy to you, but I go through this process every single day. Because I've got massive goals. I want to inspire hundreds of millions of people all over the world. I want the book that we've written to become a best-selling book. Look, we've all got a monkey on our back, right? Everybody has. Everyone's got a monkey on their back. The monkey that we have on our back is ourselves, our relationship with ourselves. To get the monkey off your back, you need to have goals that you're inspired to move towards. So that's your health. So let's look at your relationships, right? Relationships or love, but relationships. So this is where you are today. And this is you at your absolute best. This is you with, again, in the marble here. This is you at your absolute best with your relationships, with your family, with your friends, all of the relationships that you have, I want you to think about what this you looks like. You with just love for everybody. Just, what does that look like? You at your absolute best. Does this make sense? So Eva was asking about the floor and the ceiling. The floor is that, if, for example, if you're going to exercise, and you say, I'm going to exercise every day, well, tell yourself the floor might be, I'll do 2 minutes, and the ceiling might be, I'll do an hour. I'm going to meditate. Okay. Meditate for 2 minutes. That's the floor. The ceiling is meditate for 20 minutes, twice a day. Whatever it is that you want. I wish you guys knew how cold it is in this room. It's, even with the lights on. But it's okay. Look, I wanted to show you something I had down here. Look. Do you know who that is? That's me. Look at that. I'm actually on the potty there as well. Right? You know who that is? That's me. That's me at 4 years old. That's me. I don't know how old I was there. But what I want you to do is to think about is, look at the look on my face. All I was interested in was growing. All I was interested in was getting better. You know? You might not think I wanted to get better, but I did. We all wanted to get better. We all wanted to grow. We all wanted to learn. We all wanted to be happy. We all wanted to experience life fully. And you have that opportunity. And I want to help you break this down. By the way, that's in our toilet. So whenever I go to the toilet, I have a good look and I remind myself of the importance of being curious. So I want you to think about you at your absolute best in your relationships. So your relationships with who? Your family, your brothers, your sisters, your mum, your dads, your best friends, your relationships with anyone, the relationship you have with yourself. That's the most important relationship. Imagine what that relationship would look like. And then imagine you in 365 days. Imagine you living with this relationship you have with yourself. You know, you live with forgiveness. You live with fun. You live with passion. You live with forgiveness. You live with, these are the virtues. I've got to practice this every day. You know, I'm practicing. I'm still practicing. I'll never stop practicing. Practicing these, bringing these to life. That's what these are. So then we come down to here. You say, okay, this is 365 days. What are the goals that I need to set myself? Where do I want to be in 365 days with my relationships? What's goal number 1? What's goal number 2? By the way, at the end of this process, you're going to have 6 goals, right? It might just be 3 around relationships, your work, and your health. So what's 2 goals that you want for your relationships over the next 365 days? Maybe in 365 days, you want to love yourself like never before. That's your wish. The wish is to have a great relationship with yourself. The wish, you know, what's the obstacles? Sorry, what's the outcome? I don't know why I'm writing like this. There's the obstacle. There's the big one, right? What are the obstacles in this happening? Again, one of the ways that you would overcome this obstacle for me is definitely journaling. Journaling, I believe, you know, in the My 365 journal, which helps a lot of people, you know, every single day, if life is worth living, it's worth recording, and being able to, you know, look back and look at what's going on and be curious, like to be, you know, to maybe the better relationship is that you see your life is like you're a detective. You're not so critical. You're more curious, like I show you that picture. Does that make sense? So work on this and come up with 1 or 2 goals. Feel free to share those goals right now. What are your 2 goals with your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others? Share that right now if you want on here, and we can all see. And let's move on to the last area. You know, work. You know, work is, you know who invented work? Apparently it was the Romans. And why did they invent it? To get people to do the things they didn't want to do. And that's where a lot of us have issues in our life, is that we're doing things we don't want to do, right? We're making money for other people. We don't feel fulfilled in our work, you know, and then some people just stay doing that rather than the amount of calls I've had with people over the last few weeks with our free strategy calls, which again, you're all welcome to get on one of these calls and we can talk. You can click on the link. You can actually make an appointment. I've actually got I think I've got about 20 sessions over the next week that are available. And you can take those, and even on Saturday, I think I put some time aside to speak to some people, to speak about you and your life and what's important to you. But just think about that. Who's getting a little bit excited about themselves in 365 days just by being very clear about what they're doing, where they're going, and getting excited about that? So there was one other thing I wanted to share with you right here. This was something that we spoke about this morning. Where is it? Let me see where it is. No. Bear with me. I can't find it. See, I'm one of these people that when I can't find something, I go crazy I won't give up. That's one of my strengths. And I want you to think about, what are your strengths? Take a moment right now before we move on to your work. What are your strengths? What are you good at? What can only you do? You know, this is one of the things when we talk about work. I wasn't going to talk about this, but we talk about, what are you good at? What are you good at? What do you love to do? And what does the world need? So what are you good at? What do you love to do? What does the world need? So for me, what am I good at? I'm good at coaching. I'm good at speaking. What does the world need? The world needs help. What do I love to do? This is what I love to do. And this is what the Japanese called the ikigai. It's like, what are you here to do? And maybe this is the year where you bring that to life more than ever. But there's a price to pay for this. There really is a price to pay for this because, oh, excuse me. Do you mind if I take this? Would that be okay? Hello, Pete Cohen speaking. Hello. They can't hear me. Hello? Oh, hello. Oh, it's my future self. It's my future self. He's calling me again. He called me this morning. It's my future self here. This is me at my absolute best with my work, right? So remember, what are we looking at here? Yep, it's my future self. He's talking to me. Yeah, he's talking to me. Yeah, what did you want to say? He's telling me, okay, all right, I'll tell everyone. Okay, thank you very much. That's my future self. That's the 101-year version of me. He's got a few messages for me. So look, we looked at the triangle, right? Your health, your relationship, your work. Your work, this is for me, is your work and your service. What are you here to do? I believe we're all here to do something. And I believe we're all here to make a difference, to leave a mark, to leave an imprint, to leave a legacy. That's what I think all of us want to do. But there are only things in life that only you can do. So what he said to me, my 101-year version of myself, said, figure out what you love to do, figure out what the world needs, and find a way to do more of that. Whether that you do that for your job, whether you learn how to do that, whatever it is, do whatever makes you feel most alive. So you at your absolute best. For me, it's, to have inspired millions of people all over the world to be inspired. That's my goal. That gets me so fired up. I spoke to a woman tonight who wants to join my 365 Elite, and she's in Ireland, and she found a podcast that I did with someone she went to school with, a guy called Tom Heron. Some of you know Tom Heron. And she said to me, Pete, when I clicked on that link and I listened to you, she said, that changed my life. That changed my life. And she told me, she spoke about it for a few minutes, and which is lovely when people tell you that. They're telling you that you've helped them. And I love that. But what I'm more interested in is how she feels about herself and her getting better, and then her inspiring other people. The world needs inspiration more than ever. Can you not see that? And my goals are really big, 100 million people and inspired people everywhere who have achieved their goals, their dreams, their ambitions, people just like you. And that's what I think about every single day. I really focus on a lot. It drives me forwards. When most people would give up, I just keep going. When most people start a podcast or start a blog, when they don't get any hits, when they don't get anyone watching them, they often give up. But when your goal is that big enough, it doesn't matter what obstacles come along the way. Because when you really know where you're going and you dream big. And I ask all of you, let's dream big. Let's think big. Let's be bold. Let's be daring. Let's tell people our dreams to the point where they laugh at us. So for me, I think, okay, where do I want to be in 365 days? Well, I want what's my goal here? I've got 2 goals. I want a best-selling book, and there's a few goals, but my best-selling book, and I want my 365 Elite to be a place where we have so many people who are elite that have really become. Like I said, I've got other goals, but these are 2 big ones for me. These are my 2 targets. So what do I need to do with this? This is the wish. What's the outcome? Best-selling book. What's the outcome? What's the obstacles? Well, the obstacles are, I don't know, I get a bad review or something, or the obstacles, I don't feel like it, but what's the plan? The plan is to go back. The plan is to live with my virtues. So my virtues around my work are to be consistent. Absolutely consistent. My virtues is always invest in me. Invest in me. Always to listen. Always to give. Always to be an example. And I know if I live with these things, I'm going to chip away at this and bring my best self out. The word character literally means to chisel away. And I said this morning, I'm going to say it now. There's a lot of people I've been working with who have made change, but they've just got comfortable. And life is one hero's journey after another. That's all it is. And we have to constantly chip away at ourselves, I think. Again, I might be wrong. Does this make sense? So what's 2 goals that you want to set around that area? What's some of the obstacles that you might face along the way? Let's bring all of this together right now, because, I appreciate this is intense. This is intense. And, tomorrow morning, when I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, when I go downstairs and have my time on my own, which is what I do, uninterrupted time, I will go through this process again because I want clarity. One of the greatest martial artists, Bruce Lee, he said, it's not about practicing loads of different kicks. It's about practicing one kick to the point where it's not the fact that you can't get it, you get it right. It's just that you can't get it wrong. Practice, practice, practice. Maybe this year is the year where you really, 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 really start to master a few things. So let me actually just start to bring this to an end. So tell me right now, how do you feel? How do you feel right now? Because, I've been doing public broadcasts. I'm going to do another one tomorrow morning at 7. And then I'm going back to working with our community of people who just want to work with me. So what I want you to think about is, who are you committed to becoming? All right? Who are you committed to becoming? As we bring this thing to a close, I want you to think about, what's your biggest takeaway? What's your biggest takeaway? And like I say, we want fulfillment. Fulfillment comes from achievement, from practice, from doing things and sticking to them even when things get difficult. What's your biggest takeaway from everything we've shared here? What is it that you need to do? What is it you need to overcome? And I want to thank every single one of you for being here this evening. I want to share a couple of things with you because some of you are a part of our community, and this is for my 365 Elite, which you can find out about. You can get on a call. We can talk to you about all of this. This is the next 365 days of what we're doing. We're going to work on ourselves. We are going to master. See, with those 3 areas, right? Health, relationships, work, keeping our eye on these things, there are fundamentals that apply to all of these. They are willpower, right? Willpower is the science of self-control. You need willpower in all of these areas. You need confidence. These are things that we teach over 365 days. Confidence. What else do we teach? We teach wellness. You know, you need to know wellness. But it's not just knowing. This is where we are so unique, because we are applicators. Application. That's what we do. These are the things that if you learn these things and you apply these things, you need a strong mind. You need to be creative. You need to break habits. And we spend, as a community of people, 365 days getting better in every single way. And you know what the biggest challenge to all of this is? You know what the biggest challenge is? I'm going to finish on this. How do you guys feel all now? What's your biggest takeaway? You should smell what this room smells like. It smells of vinegar, because there's vinegar in this water, because it's one of the best things for wiping the blackboard. So let's finish up with something, and then you can go, and I want to thank all of you. I'll take some questions in a minute. I really want to take some questions. But find out about Elite. All of our masterclasses are in this folder that we send to people that join us. We send you this beautiful box with the journal in it, and we will help you. We'll help you. We just want success. We just want success. That's all we want. But before you even think about joining Elite, you can get on a call with us and we can talk to you about it. Whether that's for you or not, it doesn't matter. What's more important is what you're going to do. So let's finish on this. Who wants a great 2019? Who wants a great 2019? Yeah? Everyone, this is a woman now. Okay, that's it. You want a great 2019. You want to carve out that better version of you, right? You want to chip away and bring your radiant self out more and more. Yes, yes or yes? We know that. So, as you go on this journey, there's an equation, right? There's an equation to success, and it's actually this. V times I times A equals you at your best. The V is the vision, visualizing the person, the identifying with the person that you want to become, identifying with this person and chipping away, knowing that that great person is there and bringing it out. That's absolutely essential. The I is about immersion. You need to immerse yourself in what you're doing. You can't do this half-heartedly. Again, I've been speaking to people who are doing it half-heartedly because they're often scared. They're scared to really go after something, right? Scared of it could go wrong, scared of what other people might think. But you have to immerse yourself in it. And then the last thing is action. Right? You take action, especially consistent action, you will have your best, not your best year ever, your best you ever. Or as we say, your best me ever. My 365. It's all starting to make sense, right? My 365. So that's what we want to, we have to drive this up. This is what we have to drive up. Yeah, you understand that. Drive up the vision, see it every day, immerse yourself in it every single day. It doesn't have to be every moment of every day, and you drive up the action. Yes, yes or yes. The other side of the equation, and by the way, in Latin, via is road. This is the road to help you create the life that you want. The other side of it is impulsivity, right? This is the disease of our time right now. Impulsivity, delay, putting things off. Maybe you want to make this the year where you stop delaying things, right? Times negative self-talk. We have to drive this down. If you don't drive this down, you will be like so many people, and this is why the world is struggling, because everyone is doing this and very few people are doing this. This is what I have committed my life to doing, helping people with this. I can't thank you enough. What's your biggest takeaway? What are your goals? Share it with a few people. And I would encourage you to watch this video a couple of times and share it. If you haven't shared this video, share it with someone, because people need to watch this. I want everyone in the world to watch this, but I reckon only 2% of people around the world are actually interested in self-improvement, right? 2%. That means that if they didn't have anything else to do, they'd find a way to improve themselves. So what do we do with everyone else? Because I reckon most of you are in the 98%. You have to have a big enough reason for what you're doing. I don't need a reason to want to work on myself. I love doing it. That's why you have to drive this up. The vision of where you are going, it has to be so compelling to you that you're not really, this happens as a byproduct. Does this make sense? Because I'm a coach, right? I'm a coach. So a coach it's a two-way thing. You can't coach, well, you can coach yourself. Thank you so much for being here. I love every single one of you. I have such love for you guys. And I'm delighted that you guys came here. I will see you all tomorrow. I'm going to do another free broadcast. And I think I've said enough. Love you. Thank you for being here. Almost pressed the wrong button there.